cursed by a Brahmana boy. So Maharaja Parikshit was going, and then he was feeling very thirsty. So he saw Samika Rishi, and he was meditating upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he saw, when he saw, then he was not greeted, and he was feeling thirsty also. So he felt very offended that since the king has come and nobody is even asking him to sit. So he felt offended, and then he dead snake, and then he put that snake in the neck of Samik Rishi, and then he went away. And then his son comes, Shingi. So Shingi Rishi comes, and then he sees that uh, like demoralized, or his father is being done like this. So he felt very angry that why, who did this and why he did this. So he was not knowing the cause, and but he cursed Maharaja Parikshit, and he told that after 7 days he will die by a snake bit. And then Maharaja Parikshit, after knowing that he has been cursed, he went, and only 7 days are left. He went to the forest and left all. He went to the forest and started meditating upon, took bath in the Ganges and started meditating. And then these sages come with Sukdev Goswami. At that time, Sukdev Goswami is only 16 years old. He starts hearing about Shrimad Bhagavatam, and so this is how uh, it traverses from chapter 1 till chapter 19. And for me, chapter 2 was like very nice chapter, remembering all the shlokas. And then when where Queen Kunja Maharani explains how Krishna should always be there, even we are feeling very too much troubles. And Queen Kunja Maharani is praying that trouble should come, because when troubles come, then we can remember you. So that's all from my side.
Very well. It was very nice, very wonderful. Anybody else has anything to say? Okay. So now I will give in a brief from my perspective. Mm, where is the zone? Zone. Are you able to see the slide? So, the first canto, I have assimilated the main topics like this. The first thing is the questions by Naimisharanya sages and answers by Sutta Goswami is first three chapters. In that, all the 6 questions have been asked by Naimisharanya rishis in chapter 1. In chapter 2 and 3, the answers for the 6 questions are narrated. Most of the questions are answered in chapter 2 and related to multi-incarnations and their activities during the incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is narrated in chapter 3. In fact, the entire Srimad Bhagavatam is the answer for the questions, but then in a nutshell, the answer was given within the 3 chapters. After that, Vyasadeva's dissatisfaction and Narad Muni's instructions are coming from chapter 4, 5, and 6. Then the Krishna's activities in Hastinapura we saw in chapter 7, 8, and 9. And Krishna in Dwaraka we saw in chapter 10 and 11. And then what happened in Hastinapura we saw in 12, 13, 14, and 15. And finally, King Parikshit's activities we saw in chapter 16, 17, 18, and 19. So, in the first 3 chapters, the sages asked, Saunaka Rishis asked Sutta Goswami 6 questions based on welfare for all the living entities, and Sutta Goswami was answering them. And in the Vyasadeva's dissatisfaction 4 to 6, even after writing Vedas, Vyasadeva is dissatisfied, and then Narad Muni appears and instructs him to write Srimad Bhagavatam. And in 7 to 9, we also saw Ashwatthama's Brahmastra, Ashwatthama punished. Again, Ashwatthama Brahmastra on Uttara's womb for killing Parikshit, and child Parikshit was saved by Lord Krishna. Queen Kunti's prayers and passing away of Bhishma Dev we saw from 7 to 9. And in Krishna, in Dwaraka 10 to 11, we saw Lord Krishna's departure from Hastinapur, separation feeling of devotees in Hastinapura, the travel entrance into Dwaraka, grand reception was there, Krishna's expansion for the 16,108 families we saw. Then in 12 to 15, happenings in Hastinapura, we saw Parikshit Maharaj's birth, Vidura's arrival, Dhritarashtra Vidura quit, Krishna's disappearance, and Pandava's retirement. And finally, 16 to 19, we saw Dharma and Bhumi suffering, encountering Kali and punishment, cursed by Sringi, the son of Samiki Rishi. Then finally, on chapter 19, last few verses, appearance of Sukadeva Goswami. So this is the, in
Appearance last.
Sukadeva Goswami.
Okay.
Appearance means appearing before Parikshit Maharaj. So that is the topic-wise summary. So if you take a look at the canto from the overview perspective, then we have those main sections we can see a bit, and then connection of Srimad Bhagavat 1 sections to some significant events which are very important for the devotees, and what is the role of canto in the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. So let's take a look at the Canto 1 overview. So in the Canto 1 overview, we begin with the first 3 chapters, which is questions by the sages and the answers to those particular questions. So the sages asked the Saunaka, headed by Saunaka, asked Suta Goswami, because they sat for 1,000-year yajna in order to please Lord Krishna. And this is in concern with the welfare of the well-being of the all living entities. As a well-wisher of the whole world, especially in Kali Yuga, they wanted to ask. So they started inquiring Suta Goswami, who is the son of Roma Harshana. They asked around 6 questions about topmost dharma, what is the essence of all scriptures, Krishna and his incarnations, where religion has taken the shelter, like that. And Suta Goswami answers these questions in chapter 2 and 3. The topmost occupation or dharma being and welfare for all being is to hear, chant, and remember Lord Krishna. That is Bhakti Yoga. Essence of scripture is Srimad Bhagavatam, and after the departure of Krishna, the religion has taken shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. In this way, they answered. And then in chapter 4 and 5, where Vyasadeva's dissatisfaction and Narad Muni's instruction. In the beginning of Kali Yuga, Vyasadeva has already seen the dark future. So he started recording the Vedas and the Upanishads. Then he personally wrote the Mahabharata for the lower class Sudras, Sri Sudra Dvija Bandhunam. And then he also written the Vedanta Sutra. After completing all his work, he was not feeling any satisfaction of his work. So, Vyasadeva's guru is Narad Muni. And he arrives when Vyasadeva starts meditating on the dissatisfaction reason. Then Narad Muni, as soon as the spiritual master comes, so you may be an incarnation, you may be Vyasadeva, you may be how much ever intelligent, but without guru, in front of guru, one is a fool. So without guru, any huge Herculean task attempt also you make, that may be wrong and wasting all the energy and time. So before performing any activity, especially such a big activity which is going to influence the whole mass of human beings, we must consult with the spiritual master, and on his guidance, on his instruction, we should perform the activity. Unfortunately for our teachings, Vyasadeva, without consulting with Narad Muni, has divided the Vedas into 4, wrote Upanishads, Vedanta Sutra, Mahabharata, such a great work he has put, and he has created different section of disciplic succession, and he carried forward the different section of the knowledge to different section of the people all around the world, and it has gone wide and far through the chain of disciplic successions, and now he is not satisfied. So the whole mass has already been misled by the disciplic succession. This is the state, and so Vyasadeva was not satisfied. So the need of the spiritual master is realized here. And as soon as Narad Muni comes, no compromise, nothing. As soon as he saw that, he has straight away he has answered that you have not exclusively and directly glorified Lord Krishna and the devotional service in your Vedic literature. So that is the reason for your dissatisfaction. And Vedas already describing fruitive action, and you have motivated the entire humanity in that way. Now they will take it as a religious activity. For the sense gratification activities, they will take it as a religious activities, and then they will perform. In this way, you have misdirected the whole civilization. And Narad Muni then start instructing Vyasadeva that all that you need to do. Now we cannot withdraw because already chain of disciplic successions have taken place and people have already indulged in those things, different aspects of the Vedas. Now you cannot withdraw that. But spiritual master always knows the right solution. So Narad Muni is instructing that now you write only one literature, not so many. And that one literature should be about directly glories of the Lord and devotional service. That should be completely transcendental, Amala Purana. That will satisfy the heart of all. So in this way, Narad Muni beautifully giving the right solution, and indicated the cause of Vyasadeva's dissatisfaction. And then Narad Muni and his disciple had a very sweet personal conversation in which Narad Muni's life was narrated. And the Narad Muni's life, if you see that in the previous Kalpa, he was the son of a maidservant, and by the association of some Bhakti Vedantas, he became attached to Lord and had a glimpse of the Lord. Then, now in the current life, in this Kalpa, he has appeared as a pure devotee, son of Brahma. Vyasadeva writes Bhagavatam as a solution now. So that Narad Muni's life also, if you see, that would have started and described entire the process of bhakti as to how a normal citizen could become a pure devotee by the association of Bhakti Vedanta. Step by step, how Narad Muni has progressed in the bhakti has been narrated by his own life's style, okay, by his living example in the previous kalpa. After that, the Sutta Goswami, he started narrating the end of Mahabharata war, where the Ashwatthama was beheading the 5 sleeping sons of the Pandavas, and Krishna was driving the chariot, and Arjuna chased to kill Ashwatthama. Out of fear, Ashwatthama has thrown a Brahmastra into space, and that was counteracted by Arjuna by the mercy of Krishna. And then, son of Drona Ashwatthama, he was punished by shaving hair and left alive due to the request of Draupadi. So, in this way, the next portion went on, and in chapter 8, we saw Krishna saves Parikshit in the womb and from Brahmastra. So, and Kunti's prayer also. So, again, Ashwatthama, he released one more Brahmastra to kill the last heir of the Pandavas in Uttara's womb. Who is Arjuna's grandson. So Krishna enters into the womb of Uttara and protects the child Parikshit. And then Lord Krishna is ready to move. He leaves Hastinapura to Dwaraka. He wants to. Then Queen Kunti started offering her prayers. On the request of Yudhishthira, Krishna again stayed back in Hastinapura for a few months. And due to mass killing, Yudhishthira feels very responsible and he was very upset. No one could console him. So Krishna has arranged for him to hear instructions from Bhishma Dev, because Krishna wants to give the glories to Bhishma Dev. And so he made in such a way that Yudhishthira is not satisfied even by the answers of Krishna. So, and Bhishma Dev is laying in the arrow bed in the war field, and Bhishma Dev is a pure devotee of Krishna. And then in chapter 9, 10, and 11, we see that Bhishma Deva's prayer is passing away, and Krishna going to Dwaraka from Astinapura, and then he was received in Dwaraka. So Bhishma Deva started instructing Yudhishthira. He offers prayers to Lord Krishna. Yudhishthira was convinced with the answers of Bhishma Dev, and he was waiting to see Krishna while leaving the body. He was waiting for the Uttarayana time and Krishna both. And Krishna mercifully comes before Bhishma Dev, and Bhishma remembers the war field from the pastime of the Lord, that he was taking the chariot to defeat Bhishma. So that personal pastime that was enacted by Lord Krishna for Bhishma Dev alone, that was the scene that Bhishma Dev wanted to remember at the time of quitting the body. While seeing Krishna, looking at the face of Krishna, he gives up his body. And then Krishna leaves Hastinapura. Pandavas and all residents, they lament the separation, and then sent off pompously. Krishna travels, he arrives in Dwaraka and enters into the city, and all the residents very joyfully rush to welcome him. So after long separation, they are meeting him. So Krishna reciprocates accordingly. He goes and meets the elders at palace. Then he expanded simultaneously into 16,108 Krishna, and he entered into 16,108 palaces, where each queen welcomes him by sending their children in front of to hug him. So in this way, we are entering into chapter 12, 13, and 14, wherein Parikshit getting birth, Vidura, Dhritarashtra leave home, Yudhishthira sees some bad signs. So Parikshit is the next heir of throne. He is born in Hastinapura. Astrologers predict the glories of characteristics of pure devotees and his great fortune, great future of the descendant of the Pandavas. Then Vidura urges Dhritarashtra to renounce his disgraceful position of living in the palace, whom he has treated enemies. Vidura advises him to leave home to achieve mystic perfection. Yudhishthira informs Bhima about the various inauspicious signs he is seeing. They wait in Hastinapura for the return of Arjuna, who has gone to Dwarka. They wait for the news about Krishna and the others. And then in chapter 15 and 16, we have Pandavas retire and Parikshit encounters Kali. Arjuna returns from Dwaraka and he confirms Yudhishthira and Bhima's discussion of the bad signs. Then he understands both, means the Yudhishthira got the message of Lord Krishna has left the world, and Arjuna laments how he is powerless now, remembers pastimes and instructions given to him of the Bhagavad Gita. Then he regains his full bliss and consciousness and strength. Yudhishthira installs Parikshit as emperor, then Pandavas one by one, starting from Yudhishthira, they retire timely and they leave home. And while touring the kingdom, Parikshit sees a Shudra dressed as a king, who is Kali, beating Dharma in the form of a bull and Bhumi in the form of a cow. And the bull is standing in one leg, three legs broken. The cow is in distress without a calf. So in this way, that Parikshit Maharaj also has encountered Kali. Then he gives resident to Kali. Parikshit was cursed, and entrance of Sukadeva Goswami comes to the end of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So Parikshit prepares to kill Kali, and Kali surrenders and he begs. So he gave him permission for Kali to live in 5 places, principles of religion, namely meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, and intoxication. And then all these places does not exist at the time because it's the reign of Parikshit. So Kali asked, then where do I go? Everywhere I see you. So then he said, okay, you can stay where gold is there. In this way, 5 places was given to him. And once in a forest, he was feeling fatigued and hungry by the plan of Lord Krishna. And because Parikshit is a pure devotee, and this feeling hunger and thirst and this fatigue is not, he is a very tolerant devotee. But it is the plan of Krishna, due to which he was forced to feel the way he felt. And then Parikshit enters the ashram of Samika Rishi. Rishi doesn't notice his arrival. And Parikshit, feeling offended out of frustration, he regards the sage with a dead snake, garlands the sage, and then Samika Rishi's son Sringi, Brahman boy, by the influence of Kali. So Kali took over the Brahman boy's brain. Brahman boy is actually an Asura getting birth in the Brahmana family, because Lord Krishna wanted to give a chance to Asuras during the Kali Yuga so that they can get birth in the Brahmana family and get some piety. But this Ashuric nature person who got birth in the Brahmana family did not take advantage of the opportunity given by Lord Krishna. Rather, they misused it. And one of the first example of misusing such thing is the Sringi Brahman boy. Okay, and Kali also took full advantage of this Asura in Brahmana boy, and he influenced him. He became angry. He curses Parikshit, will die in 7 days, bitten by Taksha snake. So Parikshit renounces immediately his kingdom and sits in the bank of Ganges, prepared to face death. Many great sages, including Sukadeva Goswami and including Narada Muni, Vyasadev, and Suta Goswami, and many others have arrived there. And then Parikshit Maharaj was asking questions, and at that time, Sri Krishna, Lord Krishna, has arranged the spiritual master Sukadeva Goswami and inspire Sukadeva Goswami to go to the arena and address Parikshit Maharaj. So Sukadeva Goswami, son of Vyasadev, arrives there, and Parikshit accepts him as a spiritual master. And he will ask question now in the second canto. So this is how canto 1 ends. Any questions or comments or realization, please do share with us. Okay, so now let us see the summary of the main section. So this is how the chapters are. Questioned by sages, divinity, and divine services. Krishna is the source of all incarnations. So these 3 are the 1, 2, 3, the 6 question and the answers. Then appearance of Sri Narad Muni, Narada's instruction, conversation between Narada and Vyasadev, son of Drona Ashotama punished, prayers by Kunti, Parikshit was saved, passing away of Bhishmadev in front of Lord Krishna, departure of Lord Krishna to Dwaraka. Then Lord Krishna's entrance into Dwaraka and reception, birth of Emperor Parikshit, Dhritarashtra quitting home by Vidura's mercy, the disappearance of Lord Krishna, the Pandavas retiring timely, how Parikshit received the age of Kali and punishment and reward of Kali, Maharaja Parikshit cursed by Brahmana Bhai, and finally the appearance of Sukadeva Goswami. And then, if you see the Naimisharanya, this is a place where the questions and answers, Saunakadi, sages, and Suta Goswami. That's the first section. Second section was Narada and Vyasadeva. Appearance of Srimad Bhagavatam comes there because Narada Muni has instructed Vyasadeva to write Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna in Hastinapura and Dwaraka, Parikshit birth and Pandava's retirement, Parikshit encounters Kali, Parikshit curls the Sukadeva Goswami's entrance. So this is the main sections, and now let us see some important events related to this Canto 1 that Bhaktas will take up. First is the important guru-disciple relationship we learned from the Bhagavatam. First is starting from the Canto 1, Chapter 1, Sages of Naimisharanya questioning Suta Goswami. So this is guru-disciples, how to inquire about the absolute truth unto the spiritual master. So how humbly and attentively and by serving and giving a higher seat to Suta Goswami, they have inquired. Second, without spiritual master, how Vyasadeva suffered, written heavy work, and then he lamented, he was not satisfied by his own work. And then when Narad Muni comes, the right solution was given to him. So that is Vyasadeva's lamentation, Narada Muni's arrival, and then Srimad Bhagavatam 4 to 6. So Guru-disciples importance of Guru-disciples relationship and performance based on that particular relationship. That is very easy, simple, and the complete perfect solution. Vyasadeva would have not need to write so many Vedic literature, Upanishad, Mahabharata, nothing was required actually. And whatever he has done is also only disturbed the society. But he would have consulted Narad Muni before, then Narad Muni would have advised, just write the Srimad Bhagavatam and finish it. But anyway, Narad Muni has come and he has given the solution. So now the Guru disciples' importance is understood. Then Parikshit cursed and sitting and fasting, and Sukadeva Goswami comes, and Parikshit Maharaj accepts Sukadeva Goswami as the Guru disciple. So this is another Guru disciple. So the spiritual master and the disciple conversations and the events we are seeing, these are the important thing. First 3 chapters, then 4 to 6 chapter, and chapter 19. These are all related to conversations and events, connections to Guru and disciples. So this is important thing. Then Krishna as a Bhakta Vatsala, how the devotees see Krishna in the first canto. Okay. He is a Bhakta Vatsala. How, what are all the favoring events that shows Krishna as a Bhakta Vatsala? First is saving the Parikshit Maharaj in the womb, Ashwatthama's Brahmastra, from which he has saved. So there he shows himself as a Bhakta Vatsala. Then saving the Pandavas from various calamities. We can see that in prayers of Queen Kunti, he acted as a Bhakta Vatsala. And then to Bhishma, while passing away, he giving audience to Bhishma, appearing in front of him to protect Bhishma. So that is Bhakta Vatsala. So in this way, we have there are conversation and realization about Krishna by the devotees, like in the palace of Hastinapura, Pandavas and ladies were discussing about the Krishna. They were feeling missing of Krishna. Then how they talk about him, what are all the narrations that they're discussing amongst themselves. So these are all some feelings and realizations of the devotees and the, satsangs. And the residents of Dwaraka, how they receive Krishna, they've been in separation. So on one part, they feel separation, on the other part, they are coming out from separation. Both we are seeing the reaction of the devotees with Krishna and how the queens have received Krishna. And Parishit related significant event also we have in few chapters starting from 8 to 18. So Parikshit saved in the womb, so his appearance is wonderful. Parikshit born and glorious, his life is wonderful. He was searching for Krishna, so his name was Parikshit. And Parikshit dealing the Kali, 16th and 17th. So that was also wonderful. He was able to conquer the Kali and even destroy the Kali. Even he can protect the innocents, women, children, and all those who are under Tamoguna from the influence of Kali. That much Shakti he had, and he was cursed, and his death is also wonderful because by the plan of Krishna, he used Parikshit Maharaj to give the Srimad Bhagavatam to one and all. And also how the Brahmanas are affected in the Kali, the Asuras taking birth and misusing their position. So all these things we saw related to Parikshit. Appearance is wonderful, his life is wonderful, and his death is also very wonderful. Thank you very much. So the important slokas I will tell tomorrow. What are all the important slokas in Canto 1? Thank you very much. Any questions or comments or realization you can share with us? 5, 4, 3.
Sir, Santosh Nitai has posted something in chat.
Yeah, that was about the important slokas. So that I will tell tomorrow what are all the important slokas in Canto 1. Is there any other message in the chat? Okay. Giving the audience while passing, how is it an example of Bhakta Vatsala? Yeah, because Bhishma was the devotee of the Lord, and the Lord always protects Bhishma. So he was on the Kaurava side, and he was just passing away. So at the time of passing away, Krishna comes and give glories to Bhishma. And because Krishna comes, all the great personalities and demigods also have assembled. He made Bhishma's disappearance a very, very wonderful, okay, which he has not done for any other person in the entire battlefield. Only for Bhishma Dev, Krishna came. And because Bhishma is a pure devotee of Krishna, and that is why he reciprocated personally to Bhishma during the war also. He has broken his own promise to keep the promise of his devotee. So that is Bhaktavatsala again. So in this way, he has acted as a Bhaktavatsala to Bhishma. One is by breaking his own promise and maintained the promise given by Bhishma. Second is at the time of departure, Bhishma desired that he want to see Krishna before he leaves the body, and he wants to leave in front of Krishna. So he appeared. And also he gave the glories to Bhishma of instructing Yudhishthira. Nobody could convince Yudhishthira, including Lord Krishna. Only Bhishma Dev could convince him. So in this way, he has received instruction from Bhishma Dev through the Acharya Parampara to Yudhishthira for maintaining the Varnashrama Dharma and Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga in the future world. So he has passed the instruction through Bhishma to all. So in this way, he was protecting his promise, breaking his promise, appearing before he leaving the body. So this is the behavior of a Bhaktavatsala, protecting Bhishma actually. His promise and his time of death. So we're sending him back home, back to Godhead. So that is where he is acting as Bhaktavatsala to Bhishma. Thank you. Good question. So if there are no further questions or comments, so let's wind up till tomorrow morning, sharp 8 o'clock. We will continue the Srimad Bhagavatam. Please remind me that I have to give you the important slokas, and then we will go to the Canto 2. We are going to start Canto 2 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Paditapan Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
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 Vaishnav Pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya Nanam Bhakti Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah. Jai Sri Guru Maharaj ki jai. Nitai Gaur Nande Hari.